Good morning, tribe. It's 6:17 a.m., 15 February 2018, Central Standard Time, Earth. Third dimension that I'm aware of. There's a lot of questions about what are the ideal skill sets for a prepper to have, or survivalism skill sets, or pick whatever big macro buzzword terms you want to apply to your viewpoints and your way of thinking and doing. Survivalism, preparedness, homesteading, whatever, right? Us. What do people like us need to be good at? There's a lot of things there, right? And I'm not an expert at anything. Period, the end. There's a few things I come pretty close on, but I'm not an expert on anything. I know a lot about a lot of different things. And I think that's kind of point one, is that for this lifestyle, you need to know, at least have a cursory overview of a lot of different things. Whether they're growing seasons and seed germination rates, to human anatomy, to ballistic coefficients, to position of the sun and how to navigate by it, to how to work on your own vehicles, to collect rainwater, to rudimentary building skills, to wiring, blah, 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 blah. How to operate a chainsaw and fell a tree, how to shoot a gun, what's the best soft target on a human body if you need to put somebody on the ground now, Homebirth, yeah, right, I could do this for 10 minutes and it'd be boring as hell. Point being, when the system falls apart, it's not going to be possible to depend on the system anymore. So you need to basically be your own encyclopedia, right? And I think the best way to do that is to physically, viscerally touch things and do them and mess them up. Start building a track record and start building context. I think, especially a great example of this is a garden. I personally know a lot of people who have survival seeds but don't have a garden right now. And their plan is, well, man, if it all hits the fan, I'm just going to plant a garden. Are you? If I had to eat off the first garden that I planted in my adult life, we would have all been dead. And right now, after 4 years of intensive soil amendment through permaculture methodology and creating systems with animals and composting and our garden and getting the soil amended, building microclimates, saving seeds so that they acclimate to the environment, the whole nine. I am finally to the point now in North Texas where my garden, if I tend it properly, can supply maybe a third of the calories we would need to live. As soon as we get on a piece of land, and I will update y'all on that soon, I'm not going to jinx anything, but as soon as we get on a piece of land, I intend to have a 2-acre garden. And it may take me half a decade to get that 2 acres up to speed to where it really produces, right? But you need to start learning now how to do that. Not the moment you need it. People do not rise to their level of expectation. They rise to their level of training when things get bad. So if you haven't taught yourself and trained yourself how to do these things now, while you have time, while you have money, and believe me, I know there's common American problems are time and money. There's not enough time and there's not enough money. Brother, let me tell you, in about a decade, maybe less, maybe more, but when the freaking balloon goes up and this end-stage decadent society falls apart, you're going to be so busy just trying to get by, and money won't mean a thing. And there's no Amazon and no Walmart and no Kroger and no Sam's Club, no CVS. It's all gone. You'll be praying and wishing that you had the time and the money that you have now. Okay? Get a hobby. Go to a first aid class. Go to the range. Just go to the range. Just go check zero on all your rifles. Go make sure that you can still hit with your handgun. Just go. Do something, okay? But you need to start learning. Please. Please. The other thing is, as far as prepper skills, prepper mindset, is absolutely unequivocally adapt and overcome. I spent about an hour yesterday, me and another guy that works at our business, two of the guys on the shop floor, and me and my buddy, this other guy. He's got a little bit more gray in his beard than I do, but he's by no means a silverback at this point. Former SF guy. And we spent about an hour just beating the piss out of these two younger guys. They're both 20 years old. One of them just turned 21. The other one's a couple months away from 21. Just owning them. Because we can. Because we know how, right? Which is point one. Learn, train, right? Brute strength, yeah, there's a lot to be said for it, but if I snap your wrist, it doesn't matter anymore, right? You're not going to power through that. If I shatter your kneecap, you're not going to power through that. Anywho, point being, adapt and overcome. After about 45 minutes of just showing, wiping the floor with these guys, then we were able to break their ego and get into, okay, here's how you deal with a guy my size whose fighting weight is 265 and whose one rep max on the bench press is 465. You're not going to overpower me. But you can invert my knee and then I'm on the ground, right? Here's all these soft targets. Here's all these pressure points. Adapt and overcome. So you need to be able to do that from a preparedness standpoint as well. Adapt and overcome. And part of that is, there's a lot of buzzwords and metrics and catchphrases, about thinking outside the box. And the box doesn't even, whatever you need to do to get yourself there, get there, okay? Whatever you have to tell yourself to make crap like that make sense, I don't care. Not my job to judge. Just get there. And take yourself out of your ordinary routine. We are creatures of habit, right? That's why you can go deer hunting. Because especially if you bait deer, right? You go put out a sack of sweet corn, the deer start going there. They will continue to go there, at least for a good while, regardless of whether or not there's any sweet corn there. And if you're sitting there with a rifle or a bow or a crossbow, you could poke a hole in them and hopefully put them in your freezer by the end of the day, right? Because we're creatures of habit, right? We're animals. At least part of us are. Obviously, we're ordained and above the animals, but we have these animalistic tendencies. We do easy, comfortable things repeatedly. We find a system and stick with it. So shake that system up. Do something else, right? Take a different route to work. Pack something different for lunch. Use a different tool that you know nothing about. If you have a buddy that has a chainsaw and you don't know anything about a chainsaw, show up to his house with a 6-pack of beer and say, I want to learn how to use a chainsaw. Drink the beer after you use the chainsaw, not before, okay? But go play with a chainsaw. Learn from somebody that, knows what they're doing. I have a buddy of mine up in Oklahoma right now who has just been killing it on trap lines outside of Wilburton. Just killing it. He just bought 300 more conibears. 300 more conibears. He's considerably better at trapping than I am because he's done it a lot more than I have, right? So I am going to make it my business to go hang out with him and learn from him. I may never use that information, but it'll be there if I need to apply it to some other situation and adapt and overcome. And then lastly is a brief overview of skill sets. We talked about this just a little bit yesterday in the Harden Up video. You need to be able to go there, right? You need to be able to pull from two diametrically opposed angles as hard as you can simultaneously. You need to be able to end a life with your bare hands, and you need to be able to comfort and coddle and hold a brand new life with your bare hands. It's a complete dichotomy. They are polar opposites, and you need to be able to do it. You have to be both of those people. And there will be times, I am only guessing, but based upon my own historical data, there will be times where you will have to do things that you will wrestle with. And you may have to put those things in a box and tamp it down and stuff it down and slam the lid shut and put a lock on it. But you're gonna have to do hard things. Even more so when this all goes away. When there's no more YouTube, and not because something newer, better, stronger, faster came out, but because there's no more pixies dancing out of the receptacles in your house, you're gonna have to do hard things. But you can't lose the human side of it. You still have to be able to hug your wife and pick up your kids and talk to your brothers and pray to God. Like, you can't shut down. But you have to do the hard things, which is why you need a support structure. You need a tribe, you need a mag, you need something, because even though you need to be able to do all of it, you can't do all of it. So because you can't do all of it, you need backup, bro. You need a team. Or you're gonna be a one-man army dead within a few days, I promise you. And I don't want that for you. I want you to live and learn from this channel. And these videos are designed to be nuggets of thought, kernels of truth for you, to spur you on. I'm sorry, there's a guy up here acting like an idiot. To spur you on to productive thought processes in your brain that hopefully lead to you improving your systems and improving yourself, so that you stand a higher rate of chance of survival when it all does hit the fan. Because there'll be something else after this. It's just that this is going away. And I don't know what it looks like really after this. I don't know what the US 2.0 looks like. But it's going to need people. And I pray that you're one of them. So, prepper skills. In summation, be a farmer. I would rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, said some Chinese guy 4,000 years ago. I would rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Do both. Be both. Pull as hard as you can from opposing angles. Okay? You need to be able to fire your rifle judiciously and hit a target at 100 meters without thinking every time, knowing that that target will likely have a pulse at some point. And you need to be able to gently weed and thin the little tiny brand new seedlings out of your garden, right? Brute force and beautiful dexterity. You need both. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later.